how to achieve self-empowerment. The one thing that can change everything when it comes to being empowered in your life. What does it mean to be self-empowered? A person who's self-empowered is the master of their life. A person who is self-empowered is calling the shots, is living life on their terms. What is underpinning the entire concept of self-empowerment? Now, there's a lot of things that go into self-empowerment, but what I found is that it all comes back to one thing, one word, and that word is choice, choosing. So let me explain what I mean. Decision and choice, or deciding and choosing. So when we talk about deciding, we're talking about literally the definition of decide, or the root from the Latin is to kill off options. So when we decide, like homicide or suicide, right? We are killing one choice. We're killing options and deciding and choosing and ending up with one. So deciding is really about taking different options and weighing them and making what can be often, usually, a rational decision. Now, on the other side, there's this concept, there's this word choice. Now, choice, we can sometimes confuse with decide, but choice really is something that you don't have to make a choice rationally. At any given moment in life, we can choose and make a choice for whatever we want. And we don't have to kill off any options. We can just choose one option. Now, you might think that this is kind of irrelevant or semantics, but the reason this matters is that what I believe and what I've seen be at the core of self-empowerment is being able to choose what is, and being able to choose with clarity and intention what we have in our life right here, right now, right? So once we say, I am choosing it, for what? Well, I'm choosing it to learn how to work with my body, or I'm choosing it to learn how to overcome a negative situation and turn it into something positive. I am choosing it in order to get to know myself better. I am choosing it to learn how to lean on people and how to let people support me and help me. I don't know the why, right? But when we come from a place of, when we are empowered, we come from a place of choosing. I came very close to getting engaged at one moment in my life, or I got engaged, sorry. I came very close to getting married at one point in my life. And that relationship blew up in a very spectacular and dramatic fashion, which I'm not going to get into details, but suffice it to say, it was embarrassing. It was painful, very, very painful. And I was really laid low by the situation. As a result of that situation, I did not choose it. I certainly didn't decide it, and I would never have chosen the situation that I went through. And in fact, I spent a lot of months fighting against it and resisting it, and really not wanting to accept what had happened, not wanting to really come to full terms with it, or even to acknowledge my own role in having participated in this sham of a relationship. What I came to realize was that in this process of healing, I learned so much about myself. A lot of the choices that I had made leading up to that point in my life were what had led me to that situation. Looking back, I was able to say, wow, thank you. Thank you for this experience. I'm so fortunate to have gone through this awful situation, because look where it led me now. And I also, because I chose it, I feel very empowered around all of those things to this day. I feel that I chose that situation. I choose it because it allowed me to learn about personal development and self-empowerment in a way that I can now share it with you. The key point was when I finally decided to not just accept it, but to choose it. So in order to choose, there are a couple things that matter. So one of the most important things that I've recognized around this concept of choice is the language that we're using. I recently was in a retreat, leading a retreat, and one of the clients there said that, she said, I had to move to this place because there was a hurricane in my hometown and I couldn't stay there anymore. So notice the language of I had to move because I couldn't stay. That is the language, just those simple words are not choosing the situation. Choosing language would sound like, I chose to move to this new place because this happened and it made me realize it was time to start a new chapter. So that's the same exact concept, but just using different language. So whenever you find yourself using language like, I had to, I couldn't, I can't. These are all indicators of areas where we do not feel empowered to choose. And so just by reframing the language, just by catching yourself and saying, oh, I got to move. I chose to move. I decided to move. I opted to move. It changes the way you relate to the entire situation. So if you enjoyed this video, then consider downloading my free Monetize Your Magic playbook. It is a way for you to figure out how to monetize your magic in a way that's energy rich and enjoyable, sustainable, scalable, lifestyle friendly, and purpose driven. So click on the link below and go ahead and get your free Monetize Your Magic playbook.